Hope the cryptoverse is treating you good today. Thanks for joining me on my channel. I appreciate you guys watching. For those of you that watched my last video, since then I put in this red ascending channel. This is the 1 hour chart of Bitcoin. My last video was in this ballpark here, and I was saying 104,000, maybe a little higher, was probably where it's going to top out and come back down. And when I got something to say, I just kind of turned the screen recorder on and started talking. I'm going to get into this extension on top of this big green channel. I'm going to show you that. But first, in my last video, I drew I drew in this large green descending parallel channel with an $8,000 target. After I kind of made my analysis on that yellow descending wedge you see there, with also an $8,000 target, give or take, maybe a little more. Let's take this red guy out. I'll show you a little bit how I build this if anyone's interested. So one common trait of Bitcoin is this. It comes out the top of a big channel like that. It'll come out and take a peek and then kind of go back down. This one actually rode. So my last video, I was talking about watch out for Bitcoin to come up to this area, bump its head, and then stay kind of in the top half of this big green channel going down. It actually came out the top and it rode it for a while. You'll see that happen if you watch this for a long time. Now, my last video, I drew this green channel in when the price was back through here, right? None of this to the right was there. And see how that worked? It went up there and got on top of the channel in several hours, just bouncing right off of it. See that? Boom, 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 just banging on the door to get back in. And it finally came back in. And I noticed a few hours ago, this is an unsustainable uptrend, just locally, just short term, I'm speaking. This, see this? Go this down here. I'll put the magnet back on. This bottom wick here. If you just start watching this for a while, you can start to see this stuff. See how that all lines up together? Boom. See that? So that's unsustainable. That that red one's likely to break down. Now it could, maybe if some really good news came out, the price of Bitcoin could come out here and it could bounce and come back up here. That's not impossible. That could happen. I do like the downside, but if a good news story comes in, this could pop and go up and test all-time highs, 109, 110. But why I'm making this video is it's in an interesting place. See, it has since came back down in the green channel, and that's likely to be stuck down here now for a while. Maybe it comes down, bounces off the top of the yellow, but we'll see. See this red one here. Let's extend him up here. That has about a $3,500 target. So if it broke down, something's got to give here, right? It can't. This is my point I'm trying to make. It cannot stay in this red one without breaking out of the green one, and it cannot stay in the green one with breaking out of the red one. See this conjunction, junction. It has a function. Something's got to give right here, right about now, next few hours. And I do think this is likely to break down. If it does, you're looking at a little over 30, almost 3,500, 4,000. Whoops. You're looking at 100,000. Several bounces in here, but this would be the ballpark target, just above 100,000 for breaking out of the red one. I still like what I said last video. See this heart line in the middle of the green channel going down? Watch that for being a nice support area for several bounces. If it does get stuck, if it is in this green channel now and it is stuck, watch for a bounce off the yellow line. That's from the previous symmetrical triangle back here to the left. Left that in there. And it's now, there's a big bullish down descending pattern here. It's got a wedge. It's got a descending triangle. It's got a parallel channel. It's a legit downtrend. But the question is can it stay in it? Is it going to break out right now? I think it would take really good news somewhere for it to break out right now. But it could. So I don't know about that. But it's looking to me like this is about to break down. Looking to me like it's about to break down. And so that also lines up with, we got the heart line. We got the white $100,000 line. That would be a good spot to watch. Maybe a little above that. We've got all these blue trend lines that I could continue to extend to the right. They're in place still for support on the way down. All these guys. Extend these guys out. I don't want to bore you doing it here, but right. So quite a bit of support at above 100,000. And with that being said, it could come all the way down to 95. The bottom of the parallel channel the next couple of days is 95, 96. End of the first week of February, it's 94. And if that U.S. strategic reserve that was promised, if that doesn't come, in my opinion, if that doesn't come, the longer that doesn't come, the weaker this is probably going to get. And it opens the door to a big pullback. And my macro analysis does include a possible trip down here to Fibonacci level. It's around 73,000, which lines up back to the left with the top of the previous high here. And that's a common trait for Bitcoin for several reasons. For it to come all the way back down and bounce off that and then go straight back up. Definitely could go down to 73,000. If it did, you would want to do some buying. Now, here's the cool thing I want to show you. This is basically the main thing I wanted to show you. Sometimes on these big parallel channels, when it comes and peaks out the top like it just did recently, it's a real common behavior for it to go back down into the channel, which it is now done. It's kind of right now, it's in limbo. It's trying to make up its mind. There's it's kind of confused market right now, in my opinion. I mean, at this level right now, at this exact time, it doesn't know if it wants to go up or down. But I'm going to show you something cool here. I'm going to draw an extension. I call them extensions that I put on top of these big channels. So if you see it sneaking out the top, is it going to be a real breakout, or is it just going to be a little sneaky sneak that forms an extension? And let me show you this. What I'm doing is just taking that recent high right there on that wick, and I'm gonna go over here to the left, and there's a bunch. See all these little wicks and candle bodies over here on the left. So what I'm doing is I'm seeing if this line will go parallel with the top of that green channel. See what I'm doing? And look at that. Look at that wick right there. And look at that wick right there. Boom. Now let's bring it down. Well, let's zoom in on this. Actually, I'll get you a better shot of this. This is something I do that you can do to just get a feel for what could be happening, not to panic when you see it breaking out, and also to spot fake breakouts. Watch how this lines up. See the bottom of this red channel? Watch how it lines up with the green line. Look at that, right on the dot the whole way down. See that? Isn't that a beautiful thing? Isn't that a beautiful thing? So we're going to put that in there. We're going to turn it green, of course. That happens all the time. That's just over and over and over. That stuff kind of happens. And so to me, that tells me that the recent pump out was most likely a fake break out that channel. And it was just taking a peek, and it's probably going to come down lower and get back in that channel. Now let's extend this extension. See that? Boom. Put him there. And so now in the future, if it does come back down and it comes back out later on, if it comes back out, now we know what to look for, right? That, right? We want to see it break the top of this guy. And so now there's a new heart line in the middle of that extension, which also will come into play. Support and resistance line. It's bound to bounce off of there if it comes back up into that area again. bounce, reject, whatever. It's bound to be in play. I haven't really looked, but I just drew that extension in for the first time. And let's go to the 5-minute chart and examine this area here. I want to see how much support and resistance there is on a 5-minute chart. As I was saying that, let's see. I just drew that extension in, so let's see if it's legit or not. Well, I mean, I already know it's legit, but let's see on the 5-minute chart. Okay, there was a clear resistance, boom, there on it. And let's zoom in on this area. There's not a whole lot. It's kind of a little bit. Here's a couple. Closed on it a few times, bounced off it a few times. Definitely is at least a little bit of play there. And last but not least, let's go to the daily chart and have a look at this, see what it's looking like on the daily. I know my chart gets kind of cluttered up, but from my experience, if you just want me to guess, this is probably coming down a little bit. Eventually, whatever happens here, eventually this will pump up out of here, whether it's here, if it comes from down here. Maybe it comes down to 89,000 and then goes up. Maybe it comes all the way down to 73,000. It is not impossible, folks. I want it to be known that this can do this. Boom, boom, boom. Right? Maybe the way it gets to 114,000 and above is by going to 73,000 first. Scrunch it all down. See what I just scribbled there? That doesn't look out of the ordinary, does it? Based on what happens to the left, All right, later.